Hi, I'm Bernard Jeske, Program Specialist with the Progressive Agriculture Safety Day Program. Today we're going to talk a little bit about silage safety, complements of Lallemand Animal Nutrition. And in the activities today, we're going to talk a little bit about silage and the silage bunker, and we're also going to talk about the lack of oxygen around silage. So the first thing we're going to do is build a silage bunker that you can use at your safety day. I have some pieces here, and it's very simple. I've cut this out of 1/2-inch plywood, and I used a piece about 12 inches wide and about 24 inches long. So after I cut that piece 12 by 24, I then cut it in half, and you can see the other pieces here would have been on the other end of this 12 by 24 sheet here. So now I have 4 pieces. I got the bottom of my bunker, and I've got the 2 sides of my bunker here, and I've got the back side of the bunker. In the interest of time, we've already put one together, but I just wanted to show you just how simple it is to cut that out and put that together. You're going to need probably a few nails, and when I put this together, I used a few nails, as we can see here on the back side, on the bottom here. And so I nailed that in there, and I also put a little glue, little wood glue in there, and that makes it a little more durable, because when you have kids moving this around, banging this around at safety day, you want it as durable as you can. So really, this is all you need, and it's probably, I'm going to say in the ballpark of $7 to $8 worth of plywood here to make one bunker. Now you may want to make several for your safety day, but that's kind of what you're looking at budget-wise. So the only thing you're really going to need is the saw to cut this out, hammer obviously to put the nails in, and a little bit of glue. So those are the pieces I used to build the bunker. Let me set this off site right now. Gives us a little more room here to work. So let's talk first about the bunker safety and the silage. And I've got its tractor right here just to give you a little idea of what happens when they're filling a bunker. And the thing that they're doing is they try to pack that. And I'm going to use a little mulch here. We've got just a bag of mulch here, and you can pick up mulch for around $3, $4 a bag from just about any hardware store. And you know where you can be able to find some mulch. I'm going to move this in here a little closer for right now. But what I'm going to do is just start putting mulch into my bunker. And as the mulch goes into the bunker here, this is where you're going to find some dangers as far as being around the material. Turn that a little bit here so you're looking right at it. And when mulch is brought into the bunker and dumped in large wagons, it comes in one pile like this. And another danger is I usually bring tractors in here with big blades on, and they're leveling this. They're leveling this silage in here with these tractors, and then as they build this up, they're also packing that down. They're wanting to pack that down to get all the oxygen out of there, and they want to get as much silage packed in here as they can, because all that is just a big feed, big pile of feed here that they're going to use to feed their livestock. So in this process here, the bunker gets filled more and more, and in the interest of time, let me hurry up and get this bunker filled up, because the next thing that happens after the bunker is filled up, you also have the tendency of maybe rolling the tractor off of the top of the bunker as the bunker gets full, and as they try to mound the top of it, because you'll also notice if you see these bunkers along the roads, you're also going to see they're covered with plastic. The reason they're covered with plastic is because they want to keep that oxygen out of the silage. And if you keep the oxygen out of there, the silage won't rot. It actually goes through a fermenting stage in which it burns all the oxygen out of the silage. So now, assume this whole bunker was full. We're not going to fill the whole bunker, but see how high this is? And what happens here on the farm is they're trying to get that crowned as high as they can, and then all of a sudden they're up here packing this with a tractor, and maybe they get over here a little too far, and there's a risk of the tractors rolling in this. So this is the danger that the tractor drivers have, and again, depending on if you're talking to children, this isn't something probably you're going to want to talk about. But if you're doing your program for a community safety day and you've got older 4-Hers, FFAers, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas at your safety day, this is a good topic to talk about, talking about the risk of rolling a tractor and making sure you're using a safe tractor with a rollover protective structure on it when you're packing this silage. All right, now let's fast forward. We've spent all summer and we've got the silage here filled, and now we're into the winter months. This, again, keep in mind, is covered with plastic. In the winter months now, we're getting ready to feed this silage. And they come in here with tractors again, usually with a loader, and they're scooping this up, and they're loading it into feeder wagons, and they're feeding the livestock here. And as the time goes by, I'm gonna move this tractor out of here. As time goes by, this gets fed back further and further and further, and as you can see, it kind of builds a vertical wall of silage right there. Two things are concerned here. One, this is not a playground. We got to get that message to the children. Keep the children out of here, because if we have a child like this little toy right here, and this child happens to come into this bunker, let's say they're playing hide and seek, or maybe they're trying to see, well, what's mom and dad ever doing in here? And they come in here and they're in here playing, and all of a sudden this avalanche is over. And it avalanches all the time. Every time they come in there with a loader, it avalanches. Hopefully it avalanches into the loader. But in this situation, now we have a deadly situation here in the avalanche of the bunker. So with that being said, that's kind of one safety tip you want to get across to the kids at your safety day. This is not a playground, and this is why. And you can let the kids do this. This is a very easy hands-on activity and a very cheap one that you can build the bunker. I rounded these edges off here a little bit just to make it a little safer so there weren't any square corners that the kids could hit on. But this is a very, very hands-on activity. So you can do the tractor thing, you can do the child. Now, also in this, we talked about the avalanche. Another thing that we need to talk about here is the lack of oxygen. Because when this silage is chopped and again filled, they're going to cover this with plastic. It goes through a stage of fermenting and it burns all the oxygen out of here. So there's no oxygen underneath that plastic. Also, if you have a silo on your farm, it's one of those blue tall, skinny silos, they're also airtight. There's no oxygen in them either because it burns the oxygen up, and then that's what creates that good feed value for the livestock. But it's when they peel that plastic back, the nitrogen that was in the plant mixed with oxygen now creates nitrogen dioxide, and that's extremely poisonous. So that's the thing, when the plastic's peeled back and somebody is in here doing that, they've got to have some kind of breathing protection, because that you can be overcome by not only the lack of oxygen, but you can become over by that nitrogen dioxide, and that's a poisonous gas. So anything inside this bunker area, you know, yeah, the wind may be blowing across here and the wind may be bringing fresh air in, but inside this bunker, there's probably very little to no oxygen. Another point you want to get across to your kids, this is not a playground, all right? And even for the adults, yes, the owner of the farm may already know this, but their hired hands may not. So they may have some adult helpers, laborers on the farm. They've never been educated on the lack of oxygen in a bunker. All right, enough said there. Let's move over to demonstrate to the kids what happens when you have a lack of oxygen. You don't see oxygen. It looks like I ought to be able to walk in there and breathe, all right? But there's actually no oxygen in there. So we do that with this activity right here. And it's actually called a suffocation, because what happens when the nitrogen in the plant burns up all the oxygen in there, it produces also carbon dioxide. It's not poisonous, but it's a suffocation type of thing. And in order that, we're going to show them what happens when all the oxygen is burned up out of there. And we're going to use a little candle and a little glass jar. Again, prefer glass, that way everybody can see. All the kids are standing around here. This would really not be a hands-on activity, but a wonderful demonstration for the kids. So we're going to light this candle here, give you an idea of someone here that can breathe freely because there's plenty of oxygen here. Now, let's pretend this person comes into the silo that has a lack of oxygen. And what we're going to do is just put this glass jar over the candle, and you're going to see just in a matter of time that flame is actually burning the oxygen that's in that jar. And as soon as all the oxygen in that jar is gone, we have suffocated that candle. And that would be the same way as a child or adult or anything that's in the situation. As soon as the oxygen is gone, suffocation begins. As you see the flames getting smaller and smaller, there's very little oxygen left in here, and oxygen is gone. So this is a quick look at a couple hands-on activities that you can do at your Progressive Agriculture Safety Day.